Okay guys, so I'm going to try out this voice recording to go over this video. So welcome to Stretch. I am talking about you will need either a band or a pair of stretchy leggings or something stretchy that you can use. Look at that stretch. I'm stretching it. All right. We will be using these throughout the class, so I'm going to try and use them both so you can kind of see how I'm using them. All right, so we're going to start off just with some regular inchworms or yoga flow vinyasas. So inhale, arms up, exhale, fold forward, walk your hands out. Stay in downward dog and then come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, curl your chest up. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes back under and then press all the way up and back. Walk your hands in, bend your knees, and roll to the top. Let's do a few more of those. Good, one more. Walk it all the way in, roll up. So we're going to start with a lunge. So step forward on your right leg. Find your hips even, and then slightly tuck under with the bottom leg. Reach the arms up, and then open arm twist to the right. Inhale back up, and exhale opposite side twist. So take your left arm down the thigh, reach up and over with your right arm. Good, inhale back to center. Once again, open arm twist. And exhale up and over, other side. Good, come down, and then we'll switch, step forward, and back with the right. So inhale up on the left. Really work on finding the hips even. Press into the back heel, so really lengthen all through that hip flexor, and then open arm twist. I fall over. And then other side. Then we'll do that one more time. Open. Inhale up. And exhale. Reach back and over with your left arm. Come down. Inhale, lift the heels and lower down. So let's do a couple calf raises. Good. So lift, press into the balls of the feet and exhale, lower down. Let's do two more. Now bend your knees. Think of sinking your chest back towards your thighs. Lift your tailbone. Then we're going to press forward into a plank. So inhale, sink back. Exhale, dart forward. Come high up onto the toes. Let's do a few more. Inhale back. Exhale, press forward. Good. Really lift your tailbone and then straighten out the legs. Then we'll start to walk it a little bit closer. So take your downward dog and just shorten your stride a little bit. From here, we'll take the left hand to the center, and then your right arm is going to reach back towards your left ankle. So you're doing a twist. Look underneath that left armpit. And then other side. Come back forward and lower down onto all fours. Take it back to child's pose. Deep breath in. Think of allowing your armpits to drop down towards the floor. Just finding that space and then come all the way back up, and we'll take the band. So if you have your either resistance band or your leggings, or it's just something stretchy, try to make sure that it's a little bit longer, like at least as long as shoulder distance. Okay, and so this one, we're just going to be working on adding a little resistance to the outer arm. So we're just going to come into puppy pose for a moment. So hips are up. Let your chest drop down. And just breathe here. So then we're going to take the stretchy band and just do the one where your elbows are coming down, your hands go behind. So just find that position first. And then basically however it feels, if it already feels like a stretch, you don't have to use the band. But really from here, what we're going to do is as you sink back, think of just adding slight resistance by pulling the band away. So you'll just feel it on the outsides of the triceps, outsides of the shoulders a little bit more. It might feel a bit awkward at first, but it's just finding that activation. Okay, let's roll out of it, come back. And now we're going to go into a series for the shoulders. So we've done these ones before. They definitely take more concentration or just focus with keeping your shoulders strong, so in place, like in your shoulder socket. So the first ones is the internal rotation. So you're going to take your band and you're thinking about pulling it apart and squeezing in between the shoulder blades and even just like down your back as well. So really keeping the shoulders down, elbows in tight, and then pull away. So squeeze from the inside of your back or inside of the shoulder blades down your back and pull the band apart. So we're going for about 10. Keep going. All right, so now that you've done those, you're going to flip to an overhand grip and take your arms a little bit wider, come all the way up onto the knees. Inhale, add a little bit of resistance here. So once your arms become overhead, notice how I'm pulling down. You're going to add some resistance. So just feel like shoulder blades back and down, pull, and then roll the shoulders back and around to the other side. We're going to come back the other way. So come all the way up, add some resistance, and then continue that roll all the way. Try not to compensate. Try and keep it nice and even as best you can. So your arms can go as wide as you need, but try and make sure you're adding that resistance. So pulling and then keep the rotation going. So inhale, come up. Find that resistance and exhale all the way back around. So now, you can take your hands a little bit closer or just continue working the way that you were. So that's what I was explaining there. We're just going to continue to find mobility in the shoulders, but really just maintain whatever feels good and not pushing too much. So I'm tightening my grip on my hands, but you don't have to. Just work through, make sure that you're breathing, and also make sure that as you come around, your shoulders stay down away from the ears. So inhale up, add some resistance, and then exhale all the way around. And again, inhale back up, add resistance, good, and then all the way around. This one can be a lot at first, but it really is good to even just take the awareness to your shoulder socket and all the muscles that surround it and understanding how they work. So this is a good exercise for that. You don't have to push too hard. Okay, so now moving into the next one. It's a push-pull, so just think of it like your split grip on pull. So add resistance, one hand goes up, one hand goes down. So you're internally rotating the bottom shoulder and just keep pushing up with your top arm. Your top arm should be close to your ear, so not pulling out to the side. So your arms are as much like in line with your shoulders as possible. So don't let them come too far out to the side. So keep pushing up, pulling down, and then we'll switch other side. So inhale up, then exhale opposite arm. I'm also saying try not to arch your back, keep your belly button pulled in, spine as straight as you can, just so that we can isolate the stretch through the shoulders, your chest, and your back. So keep pushing up and pushing down. It's that pull and push, opposition. Make sure both arms feel like they're equally doing the same amount of work. And then come all the way back. So we're going to do, I believe, one more on each side. And just breathe and feel through both sides. Should be as even as you can. And it might feel like, or might look as if I'm really pushing, but just remember that this is what to your range of motion. So once you find that, add some resistance and breathe. All right, so I am making a comment about how fun it is to use stretchy leggings. All right, so I think the next one we're working on some hip stuff. Let me see. So let's come into all fours and we're going to move the spine. So we're coming into circles. So just like cat-cow, but try and take it more into a circular motion. We'll do about 4 on each side. Just continue, breathe, inhale, come around, then exhale up. So inhale back to neutral spine. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. We're going to look over the right shoulder and then over the left shoulder. One more time. So we'll walk the hands out a little bit further. Start to round your back, come forward, let your hips drop, and then you roll it all the way down to the ground. So finding some mobility of the spine. Inhale, peel up, then press, use your triceps, keep your elbows hugged in. So inhale, peel up, and then start to come up through your center. So feel that connection as you pull up. And then lift your hips, lift your thighs, and roll all the way towards child's pose. And we'll flow through this a few times. So really just trying to find that slow and steady, consistent moving or motion through your spine. And then reversing it. So inhale, peel up. Send your hips up, thighs up, and then roll back. Start the motion from your center. Squeeze your glutes and then find your hips down. Good. Keep that going. So let's take a deep breath. Come all the way down. Just hold here, take your legs a little bit wider. So now we're going to do more of a back arching sequence. So slide your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows hug in. Inhale, we'll peel up, so press down. lift your chest, and then exhale, roll back down. So just taking into awareness how that feels on your spine. Are you pressing up too much? Could you go a little bit more? Just remember that we're trying to keep your hips down, so engage your glutes and just try and keep your hips towards the floor. Good. So now we're going to take left arm to the center. Right hand's going to reach up and back. Exhale down, other side. All right, so now we add that quad stretch. So keep your legs relatively wide here. Now this is a modified frog. Like in yoga, you do, this one is not like the frog stretch for your hips. This one's more for quads. So you're taking your hand and try and rotate the shoulder so that you're pushing like the palm of your hand towards the top of your foot. And then we'll release and do the other side. You can also come down to forearms if your back arch is a little too much, or just walk your hand like the bottom arm that's holding you up a little bit further away from you. So you have that modification to make sure that your back, you're not over stretching in the back. Okay, let's roll down. Sink it all the way back. And take a few breaths. Good. Let's come all the way up and grab our stretchy fun thing again. So now we're going to come into, it's called PNF stretching. So PNF basically adds resistance to a stretch. It's usually done with a partner. So like if you guys remember doing like partner stretches, your partner adds a little bit of resistance, you're pushing against them, and then you release, and then they try and help you to stretch a little bit further. So that's what we're going to go into right now, kind of doing it as a self exercise. So we're going to use the band, hold it underneath your leg, and then basically just push your leg into the band and then release. So we'll do a little bit of that, push and release. And we'll do it in a couple different positions of the leg. So I'm using the pole, but you can also use a wall. A wall is going to obviously be a little bit more sturdy for this exercise. So you can put your back on the wall or your side, use your free hand, just anything to help support as we do this one. Because usually you'd be holding onto something and then your partner would be actually holding your leg. So this just adds a little bit more of a balance aspect as well to it. So you can wrap the band around your ankle, and depending on the material you're using, if it's slidey, you can also take it to the bottom of your foot. So underneath, and you can push like that. Just remember that we're not really using just the muscles of the foot, or I should say not the muscles of the foot, but we're not using your foot or the strength of your foot or ankle to push down. We're trying to activate your muscles underneath the leg. So your hamstring, your glutes, your calf, trying to activate those muscles so that they strengthen or contract, and then they lengthen as you release. So that's what we're working on. Think of pushing down, squeeze hamstrings, glutes, everything from the bottom of the leg is releasing. Then as you release, you can pull your leg a little bit higher. Just make sure you're not bending your knee or trying to tuck your hips under in order to get your leg higher, right? Keep everything neutral spine, bottom leg is straight and pushing down. So we did 3 rounds of that. I'll cue it on the next side, and you can always pause if you need to go back and kind of do it as I was talking. So I'll cue through it now. So when you're ready, inhale, exhale, press down, 3, 2, 1, and release. Press down, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good, activate again. Press down, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. And last time. Push, squeeze, and release. Good. So if you need to, you can play that last part back. If you need to, the opposite side if you didn't really get to it. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing again, but take the leg out to the side. So just remember your hip should be down, and it will activate in the same way. So make sure you have a stable balance, press down, and just make sure your leg isn't like totally out to the side. It should be about a 45, kind of somewhere halfway between totally front and totally side. So what's a natural side leg? Good, so we're gonna press down and release. Let's do that again. Press down, 3, 2, 1, release. And again, press down, 4, 3, 2, and release. Good. This time what we're going to do is hold it up. So hold up so that it's basically as high as you can go with keeping your hip under. And then from there we're going to slowly let the leg come down, but try and release the tension on the band, or even just release the band as a whole. So just basically holding, using your muscle structure of the leg. So as you lower down, we're trying to just hold using the muscles of the leg, and not necessarily hold it in place, but just slowly controlling that lower down as to activate the muscles again. Okay, let's do the other side. Press down, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, press down, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good, a few more, push down, 3, 2, 1, release. And last time, push down. Use the muscles of the leg, squeeze your hamstrings and glutes. Good, and release. Now you take the leg as high as you can, using the band, keep that hip under, and then when you're ready, we're going to slowly lower. You can release the band, try and keep that leg up and slowly lower it down. Good, shake it out. Perfect. So now we're going to do just active movement, so dynamic stretching of the leg. So front and back, right leg. Try and point your toe at the top and at the back. Keep that bottom leg straight. Try not to arch your back. Hold, and then hold at the back. Let's do the other side. So front and back, let's hold it up, engage, lower abs, good, and then back. Nice. Shake it out. Now we'll do the opposite, or the other one, so crossing side to side. So just make sure there's space in front of you. You can hold onto a wall, forward and back. So when you open, just make sure that hip is staying down. So you're going across and then open. Not forward and back. That's my bad. Hold it out. 3, 2, 1. Good. And we'll come down. Let's do other side. Good. Side and cross. Side and cross. Hold it out. Nice. And come down. Okay, I'm probably talking about something. Okay, I think we might use the band or stretchy leggings again. Oh yes. Okay, so we're going into our stretch for dancer pose, or in contortion, it works towards needle, so where you grab your leg behind your head. So this one's very active. Try not to push your foot back towards the back wall. Think of pushing it more back and up. So you're going to try and point your foot up towards the ceiling. So as you come forward, yes, you can dip and like hinge forward at your chest. So wrap that band around your foot and you can start going. Press back and in, press back and in. So you can follow it with the tilt of your chest. Just make sure you still are activating, right? So really use your glute. And now from here, we're going to take the band. Think of it like a backpack, sling it over your shoulder. So you're holding, bracing it there, and just push your foot straight up into the band. And I'm using my leggings, so you can kind of see how I'm using them here. Pretty much similar. Let's hold it up. Point that knee down. So just avoiding taking it out to the side, right? So keep that knee pointing down towards the floor. Good, come all the way down. And we'll do the other side. You can hug your knee in, maybe circle your ankle, take a breath, and then we'll do the other side. So think of wrapping it around the front of your foot, usually about halfway down your foot. It might come to your ankle, and that's okay as well. Just work on pushing your foot up and towards the ceiling. I find it weird on my other side, so what I do is I end up taking, like I wrap the band, or kind of hug my elbow in, and then push up from there. So I'm going to come back into it just in a second. I had to pause, and this was me not realizing that there was no audio. So push your foot up into your band, so keep going. Now you can bring it over your shoulder and then think of pushing down and up. So yes, your opposite side might just feel so challenging, and that's okay, right? You just got to start somewhere with it and just try and keep the right form so your knee's down and you're pushing your foot up and away towards the ceiling. Good, slowly lower down and take it out. Hug your knee in. All right, so let's come into some stretches. Roll it all the way down on your back. Come into bound angle, grab your ankles, let your knees come out to the side, and take a few breaths here. All right, let's release that. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Try and extend and straighten them out. You can grab underneath your thighs. And then lower your arms down by your sides. Press into your palms. So you can use your arms down by your sides, or you can lift them back up. We're going to rock forward and back. So just keep your chin tucked. Rock forward and back as if to come up to boat, and then all the way back to plow. So you can stay here supporting your hands or your hips with your hands. And you can stay more in plow, or you can lift the legs up a little bit. So coming into a shoulder stand, just breathe. Make sure your head, there's space between your chin and chest, and it feels okay. Like you're not overdoing it. Okay, and then you can lean back a little bit more into plow, just not forceful. Just continue to breathe. As well, think of just releasing through your hips as well as your spine. So one more breath and then we'll slowly roll out of it. So I'm reaching for my toes. So this is for a true pike stretch. So as you roll down, try and continue to lengthen your legs and pull your hips towards the floor. This will kind of give you an idea of what your true forward fold or pike is like, because it's a little bit different than sitting up, right, with your hips on the ground. So feel free to go through that sequence again. So if you want to do the shoulder stand and then roll down out into the pike. Okay, let's take the knees to one side. And inhale, exhale, other side. All right, so now we're back to center. I think I'm explaining stuff for a hip bridge. So you can either do a hip bridge or you have the options of working on your full bridge. So I'm grabbing yoga blocks. You can use yoga blocks or even a thick book or two thick books that are like relatively the same width. So from here, I'm going to show it just on my mat, but you can definitely do it against the baseboards of the wall. So the first one we're going to do is elevate the feet. And all these can be done as a hip bridge as well. So I think I give that option. But so from here, you're going to place your feet down on the blocks or just elevate them in some way. So whether it's, whatever you can find, and it's optional, you don't have to. So working on pressing into the feet so that they're elevated and feeling that change as you work on lifting up into your bridge. So we'll try that. Hands come behind your head and just continue to press down into the heels, pressing up through your palms, squeeze your shoulder blades, and then lift all the way up. So as you breathe in your bridge, if you can find a little bit of movement, so even if it's rocking forward and back, just an inch, finding that movement and helping your body to feel less like constricted or contracted in your bridge, it's going to really help. So just try and take it slow, but see if you can find a little bit of movement. So that just means a little bit forward towards your shoulders and upper body, and then a little bit back towards the heels and your legs. So let's roll out the wrists and the ankles, come all the way down, take your time, and then we're going to switch and do the other two. So this next one, your hands are going to be placed on the blocks. Okay, and then I'll explain probably here that you can lift up the back corner of the block onto the baseboards. So instead of having them totally flat down, they can also be on a slight angle, like on a slight upward angle. So that when you push your palms into them, they don't like the blocks won't feel as far away. And then if you have any questions about this one, because this is a really useful tool to continue working on your bridge. If you do have any questions about this one, you can always send a message or leave a comment and I will describe it a little bit more or even do a short video to assist in this stretch using the blocks. So your hands are going to come onto the blocks behind you. Your fingertips come off of the edge of the block. So you notice how my fingertips are gripping the edge of the block. That's really helpful. You don't have to do it like that, but I find it really helpful for grip and just where your placement is. And then from there, same thing. Just try and find even light movement. So coming forward a bit, coming back a bit, and that's it. Breathe. Deep breaths. Always try and hold a stretch like this for at least 4 breaths, but working towards about 8 to 10, because that's when you can really find yourself in a pose, relax your body, and then start to grow from there. So let's come all the way back down. Once again, rolling your wrists and just finding a neutralizing stretch. So hug your knees into your chest. So thank you guys so much. I hope that this voiceover was okay to follow, and that we'll get everything sorted for the next videos. Thanks again, guys.